Hi, welcome to Essence Nook. Today I'm going to make something I have made before in the past. However, some of these things are so far back. I've made probably well over 900 videos. And someone asked me today, they said they didn't know I made my own homemade yogurt. So because I need to make more, I figured this is a good time as any to go ahead and start a batch and show you what I do. So what I'm going to do is I'll be cooking this in my 6-quart Instapot. Usually I do like a little over, like about 1.25 gallons. But I only have my 1 gallon of milk because I had to go do a grocery run. But I'll get you started on this and show you what I'm doing. I'll bring it down here a little bit. And you can see my 6-quart Instapot here. And it's plugged in and everything. So I'm going to go ahead and open up the milk. Always check the date, which is the 4th, which is fine. And we'll be pouring this in. Now this does not go all the way up to the top like that 1.25 gallons does, because I like to usually fill that completely. I do use the whole milk, not the 2%. We have used the 2% in the past. However, I don't think it got as thick as the whole milk does. I do have a lid for my Instapot. You can get them with or without the Instapot. A lot of times they're just the lids that fit your fry pans. So what you have to do on mine, you hit the yogurt button. Mine comes to custom, and I bring it down here to pasteurize, and I hit start. It's that simple. What happens is it's going to go ahead and heat this milk up to the right degrees. And then what I have been doing is putting the milk, or putting this container in the sink and cooling this down very quickly. Because what happens is, I don't know what's going on with the milk or whatever. Sometimes it just doesn't want to thicken up, and sometimes it does really good. So I've been just putting that quickly, cooling it down a lot quicker than putting the starter in it and then starting it for the 8 hours. And so I'll show you the next process here. This is going to take about an hour to heat up and stuff. And then I'll draw some cold water in the sink, and then we'll get this going. All right, so the yogurt is done cooking. So I'm going to go ahead and start just drawing the water. And I'll put water about up to here or so. That should cool that off pretty quickly. I'll crack the lid just a little bit to let some of the heat get out. And then I'll show you the next step of putting the yogurt physically, or the yogurt starter in here and starting that out back over in the Instapot. Okay, I'm back, and the milk is cooled off. So what I'm going to be doing is, I do one of two options. If I have this fresh, what you need is a probiotic, and this is one that actually is probiotic. And what I've also done is I freeze dried it, and I just use that scoop of the freeze dried. It's just, I think that's a 1/4 cup. Some people say you only have to use like a teaspoon or whatever. I use a little bit more than a teaspoon. I just like to make sure that everything's going to be okay. So go ahead and put a couple teaspoons of this in here. I have my whisk out. Make a big mess. And then all I have to do is I get my whisk in here, and I make sure that that is all nice and stirred up. Now what's going to happen with this yogurt is, because right now Mark is not able to eat some of the stuff we usually put in here, like we usually put cherries or strawberries or whatever in here. He is not able to eat that sort of fruit. So what's going to happen is half of this will go to me, half of it will go to him, and he'll make up his part however he chooses to. So then what I got to do is put this lid back on, and then what I do is I hit the yogurt again. I bring this down to ferment on mine. Now most Instapots have actually a yogurt button, some of them don't. Now all I gotta do is hit start. This is timed for 10 hours, but you know, we'll try to pull it off after 8. And I mean, you don't need to have a you do not need to have a Instapot in order to actually make yogurt. You can warm up the yogurt in the microwave, which I wouldn't want to do. You can warm it up on the stove top to, I believe, the 180 or 88. I want to say it's 88, 188 degrees. Let it cool off like I did. You can put it in the sink or like in an ice bath or something. And then you put the yogurt starter in here. It doesn't matter if it's, like I said, it doesn't matter if it's this kind. This does work really well. I like it. That Activa, and there's a Greek yogurt one, I can't remember, Anka or something like that. And it has actually got the probiotics. You have to have the yogurt starter with the probiotics. Now, what some people don't realize is once I get this strained, I can actually pull some before I put anything in mine. And I can actually have that last for like about up to 2 weeks in the fridge. And I can keep reusing that starter over and over and over, so you don't have to buy the yogurt. Which, you know, back in the day when milk was like $1.25 or so a gallon, and you were reusing your starter, that made for some really super cheap yogurt. I mean, this still is way cheaper than actually buying all those little containers. You know what's in it for the most part, kind of, because you're adding whatever. I mean, you can't help how the milk comes. And this makes it really nice. Now, if you are doing this without an Instapot, some people have put it in their dehydrators at 100 degrees. Some people have put it in their like ovens for 100 degrees, and you just kind of like cover it and you let that set for the 8 hours minimum. You put it in the refrigerator. So what's going to happen is when this is done tonight, this will go in the refrigerator. Now, I have noticed for myself, this is Thursday afternoon, and I am going to let this set in the refrigerator till at least Friday afternoon, if not Saturday morning. Then I will pull it out Saturday morning and put it in my strainer because I like a thicker yogurt, and I let that sit in there for at least 24 hours. That's why I say that the yogurt process is quite lengthy, and I've noticed the longer I let it set, especially the first step, I get the nicer, thicker yogurt. There's not as much whey, you know, and I just get the yogurt that I like. So I'll show you in the next step. Like I said, it's going to be, and you don't need to see this going in the refrigerator, obviously, but you'll see this when I'm ready to go ahead and put that in the strainer on Saturday. So that way you can see what that's actually looking like, and then I'll show you the end product, and then how we'll split the yogurt in half, and what I do with mine and what Mark's going to do with his. So look for that to happen. Now, if you have any other questions as far as yogurt, I mean, I'm not obviously a professional yogurt maker or anything, but this is something I have made for about 7 years now. And I do not buy, I mean, I do buy the starter, because one thing, if I don't freeze dry it, because like right now my freeze dryer is broke, I'm almost out. So I only have maybe 2 batches left in here. So what I try to do is when my freeze dryer is working, I'll buy a couple of these jars and I'll put it in there. So if I don't save it, if I forget and I don't save it, then I actually have it. Now, not everybody has access to a freeze dryer. I don't know for sure if you were actually to put that in a freezer, like in an ice cube tray, if that would actually, if that would come back and have the active culture still any good. So I've never done that, but it goes in the freeze dryer, so I'm assuming it does because it works very good. So I'll see you on Saturday, and we'll get this done. Okay, so this is Saturday night, and as you can see, the yogurt got really nice and thick. I mean, look, I mean, like, really nice and thick. So what I do is I take this and I put it in the strainer, and this is on Amazon. I'll put the link down below. And what I just do is I just pour this in, and that comes out pretty good usually. And then, so what's going to happen is I'm going to go ahead and let this strain. I mean, you can see how nice and thick that is. And I'll put the lid back on, and we'll check tomorrow morning or tomorrow afternoon to see if this is actually thick enough. This will go back in the refrigerator for that little bit of time, and we will go ahead and see what this is looking like, and we can go ahead and make us a yogurt. All right, so you can see how much whey came out of that 1 gallon of milk. So what I usually just do is I dump that, because that is how much the yogurt went down. You know how it was actually all filled and everything? Let me dump this. I'll be right back. All right, so what I usually just do is I go ahead and I just tip this upside down, and usually almost all of it falls off, except for just a little bit. I take a spoon and I grab the rest of it. So you actually have a few more bites of yogurt, not that many, but a few bites. And then what I usually do is I mix this all up, and usually we have the sugar, the vanilla, and then the actually pie filling. So what I'm going to do is kind of mix this up, and you can see how nice and so thick this got. And Mark doesn't know exactly what he's going to do with his part of the yogurt yet. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to go ahead and mix this up, get it as creamy as I can. He thinks that he's going to put honey in his. Put this rag down. What I'm going to just do is scrape some off. Put some in this bowl here for him, and then he can do what he wants with his. And as long as I get enough yogurt to do my stuff during the week, we should be pretty good. So I'll give this to him, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and do the cherry pie filling. I was gonna do the strawberries, but I don't feel like peeling them and cleaning them and stuff right now. So I'm going to go ahead and get that thing of pie filling, and I will be right back. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of vanilla in here. Now, I've been told by most people who do try my yogurt that it tastes kind of like cake batter. I'm going to do about 1/2 cup of sugar, and then what I'll be doing is adding my can of cherry pie filling. Alright. And I get that all mixed up. And usually we use that whole can for the whole, as you can see, the whole 1.25 gallons. And I should have probably got out a few more jars, but it's fine. I'll start with that. Feels like I got yogurt all over my hands everywhere. Usually this is not that messy being made, but I just kind of like mix it till it looks like it's completely mixed. Then it becomes kind of like a nice pinky looking color. And let me wipe that yogurt off my hands here. I usually take my little ladle, and then I just pour that into the little containers that I have, and I put a lid on there, and then I just have yogurt for the week. And I usually eat this with like a banana. So you'll have to let me know, have you ever done your yogurt yourself? And if you have, did you do it anything differently? Like I said, you don't need to have an Instapot. An Instapot does make yogurt making that much faster and easier, but it doesn't have to be done that way. And I'm going to definitely need a 6 container. But this, to me, I like it. I do not like store-bought yogurt, but I will actually eat this, and I usually have some granola with it. And that's probably going to be another 2 containers. So let me know if you like this video. Give me the comments down below. I will put this from Amazon down below also. And yeah, just let me know what you think. Have a very blessed and wonderful day.